Have you heard the phrase SEN or SEND and often wonder what each are exactly? Have you contemplated how to best cater for the very long list of needs in your learning environment? There are so many different educational needs, each with their list of prescribed practices, all in the same classroom simultaneously. This can become challenging for teachers, especially when they are overwhelmed by the different paperwork and no practical ideas as to how the needs of these students can be met collectively and selectively. Let's explore SEND and how to effectively meet their learning needs. High quality teaching or quality first teaching is crucial to addressing learners' needs in every classroom. Most students have a consistent set of needs to facilitate their learning, and most approaches that will improve conceptualization and enhance students' capacity to learn is universal. Genuinely conscious thinking about teaching and learning and meticulous planning will address the needs of most students in any learning group. There are, however, those groups of learners who will have some additional needs that requires further provision and personalization. The key to addressing learners' needs is understanding who in your teaching group have what specific needs and the subject-specific strategies that are most impactful. Although teachers hear so many different diagnoses of special educational needs, any specific student with a special educational need or difficulty falls into one of four main areas: communication and interaction, cognitive and learning, social, emotional and mental health difficulty, and sensory and or physical needs. Being clear about the cluster of needs gives a level of confidence in finding strategies that are suitable for addressing needs in their totality, and that can be added to a teacher's pedagogy and then identifying more specialized approaches that will work in harnessing students' inherent potential. The communication and interaction category includes students who present with speech, language, and communication difficulties, and difficulties with social interactions. Children diagnosed with autism spectrum disorder, including Asperger's syndrome, are likely to have specific difficulties with social interactions. It is important that instructions given to these students are specific, simple, and clear. Ambiguity with instructions for any students can become a challenge in implementing and completing what is expected of them. Therefore, giving attention to details in communicating vocabulary, using repetition, providing instructions both verbally and non-verbally will help these students with comprehending what is required of them and how to implement newly acquired information to solve the problems that are presented before them. The cognition and learning category focus on organization, memory skills, literacy, and numeracy skills. Some of the needs are classified as moderate learning difficulties, MLD, severe learning difficulties, SLD, specific learning difficulties, SPLD, and profound and multiple difficulties, PMLD. Give these students a clear structure and routine. Provide opportunities for recall and practice. Use a layered approach to learning, using chunking and Socratic questioning and discussing their comprehension of what they're learning. These techniques will support teachers in identifying and addressing misconceptions where they exist. Additionally, expose these students to a range of learning styles to enable their comprehension and increase their likelihood of remembering. Use clear vocabulary and make them explicit, and this will also support students' comprehension and application. Social, emotional, and mental health difficulties are usually students presenting with withdrawals, anxiety, behavioral challenges, difficulties with managing and maintaining relationships. These include attention deficit disorder, ADD, attention deficit hyperactive disorder, ADHD, or attachment disorder, anxiety, depression, self-harming, and eating disorders, among others. These students thrive on empathy, genuine praise, affirmation, and validation. Therefore, frequent nonverbal, verbal, and written feedback supports their development. They require healthy boundaries and the comprehension of the correlation between choices and consequences. Using rewards fairly will support in their development. Additionally, they require self-esteem building. Using a good balance of problem solving will also increase their conceptualization that they can take control of their outcomes through the decisions and choices they make, rather than feeling things will simply happen to them. These students need thoughtful, genuine care and guidance to get them back on the path of success. The sensory and/or physical needs are students with visual and/or hearing impairments, as well as physical needs. They might have other needs alongside these that will need to be addressed in their learning encounters. In special educational setting, teachers' input is usually well supported with resources. However, in mainstream, access to resources can sometimes require a high level of creativity on the part of teachers to ensure that their students excel. Outside of their special educational needs, they will also benefit, like all students, from the strategies mentioned above. In addition, these students are usually aware of what works well for them, and added proactive planning for resource adaptation and modification will help in meeting their needs. These are a synopsis of some of the techniques and strategies that can be used to support the needs of students within the classroom. Understanding each of these needs and the ways to provide for students in the classroom and through teaching repertoire increases teachers' impactfulness. Lesson planned effectively will successfully cater for the needs of these children and all others in the learning group. The aim should be, first and foremost, exploring strategies and approaches that enhances and enriches learning through engaging and empowering of learners. Once these fundamental aspects of teaching and learning are embedded, the additional specific needs are incorporated to ensure the best learning experience for those specific learners within your classroom. Hopefully, you will be able to use some of these in developing your pedagogy and enhancing your learning environment.